Hey lovelies, it's Monique here. How you doing? It's really nice to be with you guys tonight. I've had a bumper day. I've been talking about food all day. I've been eating food all day. And all I can think about all day is what a surprise food. And I thought tonight I really you a fast and easy bread recipe, which for people like me who can't tolerate a lot of gluten, who are maybe looking at a lower carb or lower calorie diet, this is a really good option for you. First of all, before I get started though, I want to say a big hello to everybody watching. Stephen Walker, hello my friend. Steve Evans, Derek Quinn, Raja, hi, how'd your holiday go? Andrew Smallman, Peter Haynes, King and Newton, great to have you on the stream tonight. Hi Tracy, good to see you as well. This recipe is really easy. I want you to take note of what I'm going to do tonight. I'm making a really yummy garlic bread, and you can develop this in a couple of different ways to make it your own way as well. But I'm going to give you the low carb, low calorie version of this recipe, and then you can kind of do with it what you want, right? So you can, anyway, I'll show you as we go along. By the way, oh, hi Janine, good to see you as well. As we go along tonight, if you've got any questions, if I can help you in any way when it comes to weight loss, wellness, my journey's spanned more than 25 years and I'm still learning as well, but I can tell you I've lost more than 40 kilos in weight. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I no longer have high blood pressure. In fact, I'm in better health in my mid-40s than I was in my 20s. That's my website link below. I'd love you to go to my website. On the front page there, I've got a whole bunch of recipes, including this garlic bread recipe, which I'm going to make for you guys right now. I've got that recipe right on the front page for you. On there's also articles that can help you, maybe if you're on a transformation journey as well. You can see about my journey. I've also got a shop, you know, because we all like shopping, right? So I'm totally addicted. So I've got some of my favorite lovely things to share with you. One thing you're going to see in tonight's demonstration. Hi, Chris Lloyd. Oh, you love the video. Thank you so much. It's great to have you on the stream. So tonight I'm making a really healthy version of my own form of garlic bread. I've been thinking about garlic all week, especially because earlier in the week I had Lynette Hill, who's a naturopath, in the studio, and she made a really delicious hot toddy which was loaded with garlic, and that aroma, right? I start drooling when I smell garlic. So I thought I'm going to show you guys how to make a really simple one. It's a good 1 to 2 person size. I've put in the recipe on my website that it serves, you can make 3 servings from this recipe. That's pretty generous. Each serving works out at about 110 calories. There's quite a bit of fat in there. There's lots of protein in there. And there's only about 2 to 3 grams of net carbs per serving. So a whole heap better than getting a big roll of bread and loading it up with garlic butter, I believe anyway. The key ingredient that we're going to use tonight is almond meal. So almond meal is wonderful, loaded with protein, loads of fiber in tonight's recipe as well. So for those of you who might get a little bit backed up, you know what I'm saying. Oh, thank you, Andrew Wilson, for the nice smiley face there. If you get a bit backed up, the 2 key ingredients, in fact, in here tonight that will add fiber to your diet, we've got this delicious almond meal, and then I'm also going to use some psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is a wonderful thing that you can use if you're maybe gluten intolerant or you might be celiac. You can use the psyllium husk, in fact, to do things like thicken gravies, or you can even add it to water, maybe a little juice if you don't, you know, water with a little bit of lemon juice, and use it to actually help if your bowel clogged. I shall not go into the details. Anyway, I've got about 100 grams, which is maybe 1 1/3 cups of almond meal in here. I've got 1 1/4 tablespoons of psyllium husk. I'm going to mix that all through. Leavening agent tonight, we're using 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder in there. Now, there's going to be a really cool chemical reaction that happens in the recipe tonight. I'm also using some, it's about 1/2 teaspoon there of white vinegar. going to throw that in there. Now, why I love this recipe is for those of you who are like me and you've been using a lot of the low carb recipes, chances are you've noticed if you come to make a low carb bread, it can be super, super eggy, and that's because of the egg yolk in there. This one just uses the egg white. So we're adding in a big hit of protein without all the nasties. Oh, hi, Alice, darling. Hello to you, my lovely. How are you? Good to see you on the stream. Big loves to you. It must have been your birthday sometime soon or sometime recently as well. So happy birthday to you if I missed it. So there you go. I'm taking out the egg yolk. I am not opposed to eating eggs. In fact, I highly recommend, you know how there was that trend for a while of not eating eggs because, you know, cholesterol and all that sort of thing. Look, I totally disagree. When I first started my low carb journey, one of the keys to my success, so I started probably about 11 months ago going low carb. One of the keys to my success was actually starting the day with scrambled eggs. So my partner Pete, because he's a domestic goddess, would get up in the morning and would actually cook us scrambled eggs. I like them best cooked with avocado oil because I love the flavor. Oh, I've just ripped my nail off there. That's okay. Oh, don't look at it. Yeah, avocado oil creates a really delicious flavor. So I highly recommend if you're going to cook scrambled eggs, do it with your avocado oil there. I'm just going to grab a handy towel because I literally just snagged my nail in the drawer. Okay, to make the chemical reaction happen, psyllium husk is wonderful. It absorbs a huge amount of moisture. Why this is good for your gut is that it actually basically fills up your gut, and if you add water to it, it makes you feel fuller for longer. Because this is a low GI recipe as well, it's going to be longer burning and it's not going to mess with your glucose levels. I'm going to add, to make the chemical reaction happen, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of boiling water, and what will happen is the psyllium husk will actually start to expand and really blow up this recipe. There we go. Fantastic. Now it's a real easy one. I've already preset the oven to around 175, 180 degrees. For those of you who follow my cooking shows, you'll know I always cook things between 175 to 200 all the time. Always on fan bake as well. I'm a huge fan. So those ingredients right there. The other thing I'm going to add in is a little bit of salt. And because I'm making a garlic bread, please excuse my accident right there. Oh my goodness. I'm actually going to grate into my bread dough some garlic. Now this is optional, of course, because if you want to make a bread dough that doesn't have the garlic flavor in it, maybe you want to use it for cutting up and using to make French toast as an example. You probably don't want garlic in it, right? But I'm going to add garlic in because I want 2 shots of garlic. Whoopsie. I want 2 shots of garlic in my recipe. Whoopsie, not quite in there. This is the newest toy I have in my kitchen. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's a garlic grater. I'm just pushing the first bit down so I can pop that in. And you can also use the same grater, and I absolutely love it because no more grated knuckles or anything. You can use the same grater for about 1 inch of turmeric in there, or you could use ginger in there. It's the perfect size, in fact, for ginger, you know, those hot lemon and ginger drinks, or if you're making a turmeric latte. So 1 clove of garlic will fit really beautifully in there. And look, I just love it. And then when you turn it over, sorry, just covering up my horrible finger there. Oh, man. Okay. You've got all this delicious garlic on the back and it's perfectly grated. And for me, I find there's a real difference. When I eat garlic which has been chopped, I never can get it as fine as I can with my grater. And for me, I tend to get a little bit of reflux with chopped garlic, but interestingly enough, not grated. I don't know why. I am a miracle. I also sneeze when I'm hungry, so maybe I'm wired a little bit differently from most people. Okay, so there you go. Just a few ingredients. I've got this delicious looking bread dough. Now when it comes to baking this, as I mentioned, 175 or 200 degrees in your oven, depending on if you've got a hot or a cool oven. That's a whole nother discussion. But when it comes to putting it in the oven, you've got some choices. You can pop it into some of these sort of patty tins or muffin tins. I used a little mini loaf tins to make these tiny little wee loaves, which are really cute. Again, this is a nice single serving as well, especially if you've got that real hankering for garlic bread. You could also do what I did earlier today, and you can cook it in a loaf tin. So make sure that when you pop it in there, you're going to use some greaseproof paper or some wax paper, you know, the sort of stuff that you put in when you're baking. And what I actually did is I wanted a really nice flat loaf, almost like a focaccia. So I actually pulled over the sides and I flattened it out and then just opened it up when I went to put it in the oven. So you're going to take a serving, and it will actually roll up like a little ball. Actually, I'll take my ring off first. It'll roll up like a little ball. Here we go, looking good. And you're just basically going to pop a little ball of mixture, excuse me, my hair just got in the way, into your container, just like that. You might want to grease it, depending on if you're using a metal container. So I know I've got more than 3 servings here. I'll probably make 5 with this mixture. Beautiful. So that will go into the oven for roughly 30 minutes. You'll know when it's done because it will be all beautiful and golden on the outside. Hi, Debbie Curtis. Good to see you. Oh, Dr. Nick. Good to see you. Capel Dev watching from India. Good to see you. Gina Sterling, you love this recipe. I know, right? This is so easy and it is so good. When I eat it, seriously, it's like eating bread. And when you go low carb, one of the first things that you realize is you want everything you can't have. So I noticed when I first went low carb, all I wanted, and I didn't eat a huge amount of bread, but all I wanted was bread and pasta. I never eat pasta. In fact, I probably eat pasta more now because I can have a low carb konjac noodle instead of normal traditional pasta. I can eat that instead. Okay, so I've made 2 for 5 out of today's mixture. Those are going to go into the oven for roughly 25 to 30 minutes. Again, depending on your oven. Now, as I mentioned, once they're done, you'll know. I'll just pop these out of the way. I'll pop them in the oven afterwards. You'll know when they're done because they come out beautiful and golden. So that's a really good sign. They look amazing. So I made 3 from the mixture I used earlier today. You can obviously double the mixture. You can do whatever you like. Triple it. If you're having a whole lot of people, you can make a giant loaf. If you double the mixture, it'll fit really beautifully into a loaf tin. So what we want to do is to turn it into garlic bread. So already this bread has garlic through the middle, so it's already delicious. But if you want that goldeny, delicious garlic bread that has that beautiful garlic butter, that's what we're going to make right now. Now, I am always on the hunt for a bargain, and at my local grocery place, butter is uber expensive, and I'm not talking $5, I'm talking $8.49 for a pound of butter. It's a no from me. That is disgusting. It's daylight robbery. There is no way I'm going to pay $8.49 for a pound of butter when I can buy a container of cream for $3.29 and make my own. If you've never made cream before, it's super easy. I just put mine, I've got a benchtop mixer in the back there. I put the whole lot, the whole container of cream and some salt into my benchtop mixer. I put it on high and let the mixer do the work. You'll know when it's ready because all of the butter will separate. It'll go really yellow and really kind of greasy, and it will hold onto the basket whisk that I use in there, and all the whey will separate. What you want to do is you pour out all that whey, you wash your butter, and then you're going to squeeze the excess out. So you take your block of butter, you put it in some wet chucks cloths, and you squeeze it and squeeze it, or you could use muslin or cheesecloth, whatever you like. You squeeze it and squeeze it until there's no water left, and then you're left with this delicious, yummy homemade butter. Seriously amazing. My mum actually taught me how to make butter when I was really young. So garlic butter, you guys know how to do this. It's super easy. I'm going to take just a little bit of butter in here. I'm going to melt that down, pop it in the microwave for around 45 seconds. Excellent. So again, I want that really delicious garlicky hit. Pull that piece out of the way. I'm going to throw on my garlic in here. Good to see you all. Gina Sterling, love bread. Can't wait to try this recipe. Honestly, front page of my website, Gina. This though, you need one of these. This is the coolest thing ever. Oh, I need a container. That one will do. That's empty. This is so cool because I got really tired of grating garlic, and then all of a sudden I noticed my fingers were grating as well. And I learnt from watching Rachel Ray that the best way to get the flavour out of garlic is actually to grate it. So there we go, that was done pretty quickly, and look at that deliciousness. Excellent, beautiful. That goes in there. My butter should be ready. Oh, yes it is. I'm going to throw my garlic in there. Now you can also you could add in some chives, chopped chives. You could add in a little bit of salt if you're using unsalted butter, whatever you like. It's your recipe. You guys are grown-ups. Excellent. And then of course I'm just going to drizzle, oh yeah, look at that, a little bit of that onto my bread. Now I'm going to pop this back under the grill for about 5 minutes. So you want to put your griller on and pop that in there. If you're feeling extra decadent, like I sometimes do, so let me just pop this on here, because this is treat food. It's not the sort of food you're going to eat every day. What would I serve this with? I'd actually serve this with my beautiful low carb tomato soup, which is super easy to make. Did you see what I did there? Did you hear that? Super easy to make, I know, right? Yeah, I would add a little bit of cheese onto here. Now, keeping in mind, because I've actually put garlic into the bread itself, you don't have to top it with garlic butter. So you could treat this like a cheesy bread instead. You could chop this up and use this for croutons in a salad. You could also use it for croutons in a soup. So if you make my beautiful, delicious tomato soup, which is super, I love that. I think I'm so funny. I'm the funniest person I know. If you do make that, then you don't have to add the extra butter. I'm not opposed to fat. I think fat is great. Fat keeps me filled. So this is going to go back in the oven on the grill function for roughly 5 minutes. You'll know when it's done. And then you end up with, so I made a flatter loaf earlier today. You end up with this delicious and decadent, cheesy garlic bread, which is absolutely delicious. Yeah, that is a handy tool. I'm glad you like it, Gina. It is so good. Like I said, the garlic crusher is really good. Pete was making a turmeric latte for me earlier in the week. We've done ginger in it. Anything where you don't want to grate your fingers. So if you're anything about an inch long, so that's why ginger's really good in there, garlic's really good in there, turmeric, anything like that, fantastic. It's the perfect tool without having to get out your big grater, without having to get out a microplane. It's just tiny, and it all basically breaks into 3 pieces, and you can pop it in the dishwasher. So it doesn't get much easier than that. So this is my delicious decadent garlic bread. So I made this probably a couple of hours ago, so it's not fresh out of the oven, unfortunately. But I wanted to show you that making something that you normally wouldn't have, because you might be on a healthy option, or you might be on a low carb diet like I am, when we want those things we can't have, we crave them more. So I share recipes like this to show you that you can satisfy those little cravings. And once you know that you can satisfy it, you don't want it as much. So I know on my journey, now that I know I can have bread made like this, I don't really want it. I love it, and I felt like it this week, but it's a way to help you through the transition from the normal way that you might eat into a lower carb or a healthier option. So there you go, loaded with fiber, packed with vitamin E, which is super, super good for you. There's some protein in there, there's some fats in there. Most importantly, it's really low GI, and only 2 to 3 grams of net carbs per serving. So head to my website. I've written the recipe up there. It's on the front page. I'm going to share, I've posted a generic picture on there. I'm going to share this picture afterwards onto my website as well, so you know exactly which one it is. And the great thing is I've written the recipe up for 3 servings. So you'll have a very clear idea that it's only 110 calories per serving. Really good to have on hand. You can use it if you make it bigger and flatter. It can be a flatbread that you can use for French toast. You could use it for focaccia, for toasted sandwiches, whatever you like. It's a really, really good recipe. And again, you don't have to put the garlic in the bread. I like mine extra garlicky, which is why I threw the garlic in there. So you saw my website link. Head to my website, have a look. I've got this recipe on there, a bunch of other blog articles, and that really handy garlic tool is right down the bottom on the front page there as well. So check it out. So there you go, guys. I suppose I should try it because, you know, right? I could be telling you it's great and it's really rubbish, and I can't hide it if it's rubbish. Hang on, here we go. Oh, stop it. Oh, that's good. That is good. It tastes like bread. Oh, that's really good. I want you to try it. Excuse me. And if you try it, let me know what you think. All right, thanks, guys. Nice to see you. Hi, Abby. Good to see you as well. Oh, glad you think that's great. And Gina, I really want you to try it and let me know. I know I share a lot of similar recipes all the time, but I'm always searching for the perfect recipe. And bread's always been a favorite of mine. So to be able to find something which tastes like bread, actually it almost tastes like rewana bread. That's how good it is. All right, gotta go. A big thank you to Pete Ward, who is my producer and director and my domestic goddess and pretty much everything he does for me in my life, my web developer, my everything. Thanks, Pete, you're amazing. Thank you to you guys for watching. I love being with you guys just about every night. Am I addicted much? You know. Anyway, thanks for popping in. Let me know if you make the bread and head to my website, moniquebradley.tv. All right, guys, nice to see you. Ka kite anō, inohora. Bye.